Teofimo Lopez calls out Terrence Crawford out of nowhere. I wonder why. Let's talk.
Straighter, not
Yep.
roundhouse right
And
hand.
that's what we've been talking about. The straight shot is the one where he gets leverage on it.
I don't want to kill
Pull
somebody
back
for
a
a few
little bit.
seconds.
Nah, I want a body on my record.
Now I want to see you fight, motherfuckers. I do. All right, I'm with you. I'm with you. As long as you're trying to fight the great, the best competition.
So, out of nowhere, Teofimo Lopez starts going at Terrence Crawford. I guarantee you the reason why he did that is because he has a fight coming up. He has a fight coming up that nobody cares about. So, in order to boost his name, he used Terrence Crawford's name. And nobody realized it to include Terrence Crawford because Terrence Crawford was in a lose-lose situation. If he doesn't address Tio, then people say, look, see, Tio's right, calling out Bud, Bud's scared. If he does address him, then he gives him what he's looking for, which is a conversation. Yeah, he gives him a conversation. He gives him, he puts his name back in the lights because nobody cared about Teofimo Lopez. Nobody was checking for Tio, bro. Ain't nobody checking for this man. Ain't nobody like, hey man, what's Tio got going on? Nobody cares. He's got a fight coming up, and whenever it's coming up, and no one's talking about it because nobody cares. Hell, it's not even on BoxRec. And normally, as soon as somebody announces something, BoxRec puts it up there. As soon as Tank changed his name, it was updated immediately. I mean, they might have did something to it, but I saw it updated immediately. I mean, this is not some out of the ordinary type of stuff, but for some strange reason, Teofimo is irrelevant. Although he's telling himself it's the takeover, you guys is crazy, it's the takeover. These guys want to be undisputed because of me. These guys, man, these boys are so far behind me. These guys, they want to be like me. They want to do things that I'm doing. I see things, like y'all don't understand. I see things like Nostradamus back in the years, like when I was 12. I've been seeing all this happening. I knew what was going to happen. You guys is crazy. You guys just don't know what's going on. You guys gotta. It's common sense, people. Common sense, people. It's common sense. You just gotta. You just gotta look. Guys, it's crazy. It's just what it is. I'm the man. I'm taking. My back is hurting from carrying boxing. And sitting here like, bro, what are you talking about? Nobody cares about you, man. What are you talking about? Your back is hurting from carrying boxing. How are you carrying boxing? What are you talking about, dude? Your back is hurting from carrying boxing. How? How? Do you got any air in your lungs to carry boxing? Then you go out here lying, talking about you offered George Kambosos a rematch. The dude offered you a rematch in the ring. You went to 140 your very next fight. He offered you he offered you a rematch right there. You start crying, talk about how they robbed you and they cheated you and you really won, and listen to the fans. The fans know you won. They were booing you. You're delusional, man. You're delusional. They were booing you. They weren't booing George Kambosos. They was booing you. You're just telling yourself that they were booing George Kambosos. They were booing you. They did not think you won at all. They knew you lost. Nobody thought you won. And for you to say that you could have died and man, that it was such a travesty that you fought and it was robbed and they took it from you, and then you do a backflip to say that, I couldn't breathe, could have died in that ring. You guys don't know. You got your punk ass daddy, my son could have died. My son, the doctors told my son, it was my son that because the doctors, what are you talking about? What are you talking about, bro? You didn't have no air in your lungs, so because you didn't have air in your lungs, you couldn't cap. Absolute cap. Well, then you're an idiot. Then you're an idiot. That's what you are. You're an idiot. That's the case. Then you should have boxed if that's the case. You did not box. You tried to win there swinging for the fences and got dropped yourself and got battered and beat up and bloodied. You should have just boxed. You should have got on your bike. You should have got behind your jab. You should have moved around. You should have set the man up. You didn't. You were outboxed is what happened to you. You was completely outboxed. And then the man offered you a rematch and you turned it down. How ironic that you're fighting somebody. You got some fight coming up in February, I believe. Now all of a sudden you're talking about Terrence Crawford. Out of nowhere, Terrence Crawford. Well, why aren't you talking about Boots? Terrence Crawford has one. He said he wants to fight Canelo Alvarez at 168. Boots is still at 147. So why aren't you talking about fighting Boots then? What's the problem? What's the issue? I'm confused here. It was even mentioned, thought process, that Devin going to 147. Devin will fight Boots. Oh man, Boots will ruin his career. So then ruin it. Oh, Boots will knock him out. So knock him out. At least Devin is going at the people that we know are them. They're that guys. We know they are them that guys. We know that. Oh man, no, Devin, but don't do it. Devin, don't do it. Why? Why not? Why not do it? I don't see an issue with doing it. Well, what's the worst that's going to happen? Devin get beat up? What if he wins? What if he wins? But you know, people just, you look at my Instagram and there was a post that I didn't make. It was Coach Calvin's post. Coach Calvin put up a post between, and it was a picture of Boots and a picture of Devin. And he's like, this is what I want to see or some shit like that. Like, what are you talking about, Coach? Why? What do you mean you want to see Devin versus Boots? Why not Devin versus Tank? Whatever. But that was a post that Coach Calvin made. All I did was get irritated with it and repost it and tell you guys, don't ever tell me you want Tank to fight the best ever again. Don't ever tell me that. Don't ever tell me Tank beats these guys at 47. Don't ever tell me that. Because if this is what his coach is posting, so not a picture of him and Devin. No, I'm posting a picture of him and Boots. Okay, cool. Cool. Don't ever tell me that. Man, that thing went viral. There's all kind of people commenting me, acting like I made it up. Acting like, oh man, you trying to get Boot Bud. You trying to get Dev. I'm not trying to do nothing. I reposted what Coach Cal said. Y'all clearly didn't even read the post. Clearly. You just saw it on my page and sitting there, cap. No, I'm not protecting nobody. If Devin wants to fight Boost, then I want it for him. Go get it. I'm not protecting nobody. That's you guys' job. You guys run around protecting fighters. Go get it, Dev. If that's what you want. If you want to fight Boots, go fight him. I ain't got no problem. I ain't got no beef. I'll gladly watch and support. That's the best vice for versus the best. I ain't got no beef with it. Teofimo Lopez, on the other hand, is not trying to fight. He is not trying to fight Terrence Crawford. Because if Teofimo Lopez was trying to fight Terrence Crawford, Teofimo Lopez can move up to 147 right now as the WBO Super Champion and become Bud's mandatory. Right now. Right now. Yeah, right now. Teofimo Lopez was the WBO Super Champion before he's about to fight this bum, some dude, whoever, I even forget who he's fighting because it's irrelevant. This dude in February. It's not Barboza. It's not Devin. It's not Gary. It's not Subiao. It's not Regis. But you're about to fight some dude, not even Sandor Martin, the dude that beat you, and you know you lost to this good dude, but whatever. Whatever. Not Catterall. Whoever, whatever. It's irrelevant who he's fighting. It's totally irrelevant. But the bottom line is he is using Bud's name to boost his name for his fight coming up in February. That's what he's doing. And people are acting like you don't see it. Oh man, no, that's not the case. He not. Yes, he is. There was no reason for him to talk about Bud at all. No reason whatsoever, bro. Why aren't you talking about other fighters in your weight class? Why aren't you talking about there's other fighters in your weight class? You ain't talking about none of them. You're talking about Bud. You act like you moved up from 130 to 135 to fight Lomachenko. No, you didn't. No, you didn't. When I saw that little post, number 1 Loma, number 1 Josh, number 1 Bud soon, like, stop the cap. Okay, if that's the case, then what I'm expecting, and what I'm expecting all you Tiafimo nut gobblers and all you haters, whether you're a Tank hater or a Devin hater or Arrow hater, whatever you want to call yourself, I'm expecting you guys to have the same energy. That's what I'm expecting. I'm expecting you guys to, when he fights, whoever he fights in February, to hold this man accountable. The same way y'all will try to drag Devin for anything Devin says or does. You'll try to drag that man. So I'm expecting you guys to hold this man accountable. I'm expecting him to use his WBO status and move up and become Bud's mandatory. That's what I'm expecting. There is no reason why he can't. You guys can't even explain to me why he can't. He absolutely can. 100%. He's a WBO super champion. Yeah. He can move up and become Bud's Mando right now. Oh, BF, Devin could have did that for Teofimo Lopez. No, he couldn't have. Let me explain. I've explained this already, but I'll make it very clear. If Devin would have moved up, he would have became the Mando, but he wouldn't have got a fight until 2025. Because Teofimo Lopez became the WBO super champion in like September of last year. The WBO super champion has a mandatory every 18 months. So if Devin would have moved up and became Tio's mandatory, Tio would not have been obligated to fight him until 18 months later. 18 months. Facts. Absolute facts. Terrence Crawford, on the other hand, his last WBO mandatory was Sean Porter. That was his last WBO mandatory. So if Teofimo Lopez moves up and becomes his mandatory, he will be his mandatory next. So if Tio and Bud don't fight next, then Bud would get stripped of his WBO strap at 147. So I'm expecting Tio to move up to 147 after this fight and become the mandatory to Bud. And I'm expecting you guys who say y'all want the best to fight the best to hold that man accountable. And I'm expecting that if Bud doesn't fight Canelo Alvarez and Bud doesn't fight Jerome Boots Ennis, then I'm expecting Bud to fight Teofimo Lopez. But I'm sure all of this won't matter because Tio's name does not end with Haney. But we'll see how this plays out. BFTB, shout out to the mighty LDBC. I'm out.